My thoughts on why Mason prefers Scott over Kourtney and how everything has shifted drastically. Hi, before we continue, please subscribe to the channel for all Kardashians news and update. Mason Disick has grown up in one of the most famous families in the world. As the eldest son of Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick, he's been in the public eye since the moment he was born. Viewers of the family's reality shows watched him take his first steps, heard his earliest words, and saw him grow from a sweet toddler into a thoughtful young teenager. But lately, fans have noticed something very different about Mason. He's pulling back from the cameras, spending more time with his father, and appearing less often with his mother, Kourtney. It's clear that Mason is making choices about how he wants to live his life and who he wants to spend most of his time with. While he hasn't publicly explained why he seems to be leaning toward his dad's home over his mom's, people who know the family and longtime watchers of their shows have their own theories. And when you look at the changes in Kourtney's life over the last couple of years, you can start to see the pieces coming together. For most of Mason's childhood, his parents shared time with him between their two homes. Even though Kourtney and Scott broke up years ago, they managed to stay connected through their children. Mason had stability because both parents lived nearby, and he could move between their homes without losing that sense of routine. But when Kourtney began dating Travis Barker, and eventually married him, the rhythm Mason was used to began to shift. Travis didn't just enter Kourtney's life quietly, he became a huge presence. The two were often seen together in public showing deep affection for each other, and their relationship became a major talking point in the media. For Kourtney, this was a new chapter filled with passion, excitement, and big romantic gestures. But for a teenager like Mason, it might have felt like a dramatic change to his home life. Children tend to want things to feel familiar. They get attached to the way life has been. When something big changes, especially when it's about a parent's love life, it can stir up feelings they might not even know how to explain. Mason has always loved his father. He also loves his mother deeply. But Travis is not his dad. That doesn't necessarily mean Mason dislikes him, but blending families is never simple, even without fame and cameras involved. And in Mason's case, the change seems to have made him long for the way things used to be before his mom remarried. It's possible that Mason feels more comfortable at his dad's place because it's just them, without the dynamics of a blended family. Scott lives alone, and his house is known to have a more relaxed atmosphere. He's playful, lighthearted, and perhaps more willing to let Mason have freedom. Scott has been called a Peter Pan type, someone who never really grows up. He loves showing off his cars, his watch collection, and his clothing brand. His lifestyle is laid back, even a little flashy, and for a teenage boy, that can feel appealing. Kourtney, on the other hand, has always been more structured as a parent. She has strong ideas about healthy eating, keeping the home in order, and maintaining certain rules. Now that she's married to Travis, her style and energy have shifted to match his punk rock personality. She dresses in dark, edgy looks, goes to rock concerts, and enjoys a lot of public affection with her husband. She's very happy, but her happiness has a different shape now, and Mason might not relate to it in the same way he did before. There's also the natural awkwardness that comes with being a teenager. At 14, most kids already find their parents embarrassing sometimes. For Mason, having the world watch his mom kiss and hug Travis in public could be even more uncomfortable. The over-the-top romantic gestures, the constant nicknames, the matching outfits, these are things that might make a teenager want to pull away. Add to that the arrival of his new baby brother, Rocky, and Mason's world might feel even more unfamiliar. Scott, knowingly or not, could be making it easier for Mason to choose his side. He has always had a complicated relationship with Kourtney, and while he has publicly said he wants her to be happy, it's no secret that her marriage to Travis was hard for him to accept. He wasn't even invited to their wedding, which hurt him deeply. If Mason senses that his father still has feelings for his mother, or sees Travis as a rival, he might naturally feel protective of Scott. That loyalty could make him less open to bonding with his stepfather. Still, none of this means Mason doesn't love his mom. Kourtney has always been devoted to her children, and people close to her say she loves Mason as much as she ever did. If he chooses to spend more time at his dad's place, it doesn't mean she's losing him, it might just mean he needs space to figure out who he is and where he feels most comfortable right now. Letting a child make those decisions can be a sign of deep love, even if it's hard. Mason may also be stepping away from the spotlight in general. Growing up on reality TV means that the public feels like they know you, but that can be overwhelming. He might just want privacy. And Scott's house, without the constant filming and production schedules, might offer him more of that. He can live without worrying that his every move will be part of an episode or a headline. It's also worth remembering that family relationships change over time. Just because Mason is choosing to spend more time with Scott now doesn't mean it will always be that way. Teenagers often go through phases where they feel closer to one parent, then shift back. As he grows older, his relationships with both Kourtney and Scott will evolve. There might come a time when he wants to be around his mom more again, especially if life at her house changes or if his bond with Travis improves. Scott himself isn't without his struggles. He's dealt with personal loss, addiction, and heartbreak. There's a sadness in him that sometimes shows, even when he's surrounded by luxury. Losing both of his parents and his long-term relationship with Kourtney has left marks on him. Mason might feel that his father needs him, in a way his mother doesn't right now. That feeling could strengthen his decision to stay close to Scott. For Kourtney, the challenge is balancing her own happiness with her role as a mother. She's in love, she's building a life with her husband, and she's raising a new baby. But she also has to navigate the emotions of her older children, making sure they still feel just as important as they did before. Step-parent relationships can be tricky, even in the best circumstances, and with the Kardashians' public life, those challenges are magnified. Mason is at an age where independence matters. He's figuring out who he is, and part of that is deciding where he wants to spend his time. Both parents love him, and both want him to be happy. In the end, the most important thing is that Mason feels supported and respected in his choices. For now, it seems he's finding more of what he needs at his dad's home: privacy, space, and a sense of loyalty to the parent he sees as the underdog in this family dynamic. That doesn't mean he's shutting his mom out forever. It just means that this is the arrangement that feels right to him at this moment in his life. The hope is that, with time, Mason will feel comfortable spending equal time with both parents again, and that the changes in his family will become easier to live with. Until then, giving him the freedom to choose might be the best way to keep his trust and maintain a strong bond. Mason's story is a reminder that behind all the headlines, glamour, and drama, the Kardashians are still a family dealing with the same challenges many other families face: love. Thanks for watching. Please do well to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Kardashian updates.